And now on to Superman Returns. Despite the critical and financial epic failure of Superman 4: The Quest for Peace, Warner Brothers still tried to make a fifth Superman film, with Christopher Reeve once again reprising his role as a titular character. However, because of two things, one being the Salkinds' financial issues, and the other being the unfortunate accident that rendered Christopher Reeve a quadriplegic, those plans sadly fell out the window. So, Warner Brothers decided to hit the reboot button. At one point, they were going to bring in Tim Burton to make Superman Lives with Nicolas Cage in the title role, which would have been interesting to say the least. But sadly, or maybe not, that ended up getting canceled. J.J. Abrams at one point was also tapped to direct Superman Flyby, which also unfortunately got canceled. And they were even going to get Brett Ratner at one point to make a Superman movie, which also got canceled. Looks like we dodged a bullet there. So after numerous production issues, auditions, searching for directors, they finally settled on Bryan Singer, whose allegations I'm not going to get into because this is a movie review, not TMZ. And instead of making a full-on reboot, they decided to make a direct sequel to Superman 1 and 2, ignoring all the events of the last two films. And they also cast Brandon Routh as a titular character. When the movie was finally released, while it got decent reviews from critics, it didn't really do all that well financially, at least not as well as WB hoped. And after rewatching it yesterday, while it's not terrible, it certainly could have been a lot better. I guess I'll get the positives out of the way first. The acting, especially from Brandon Routh as Superman, because he did a really good job and a really admirable job portraying Superman. And there was also Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. Again, whose allegations I'm not going to get into because, like I said, this is a movie review, not TMZ. The visual effects were really nice. And John Ottman did a pretty admirable job of recreating the iconic Superman theme. Sadly, that's it for positives. Now on to the negatives. And the biggest problem with this movie is that it has no idea what it wants to be. It doesn't know if it wants to be a sequel, if it wants to be a reboot, because there are so many callbacks to the very first Superman film. And while Brandon Routh doesn't do a good job as Superman, like, he does good what he's given, but the problem is, because of that aspect, it kind of feels like he can't make the role his own. I also found Kate Bosworth to be kind of miscast as Lois Lane. And sadly, there wasn't a whole lot of action in this movie either. Like, I know the first movie never really had much action, but that had an excuse. This was an origin story. Like, this is a Superman movie for supposedly a new generation. Like, with the new technologies at the time, like, it would be nice to see Superman face a villain he can actually clash with. So yeah, Superman Returns. Not great, not terrible, just kind of mediocre. It's better than the last two movies, but that doesn't say a whole lot. And I'm going to give Superman Returns a 5 out of 10. If you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. And that's it for today, and I'll catch you guys later.